Yeah, how dare they try to find peace? Oh god, I'm just recognizing. Septum is Revel.
Yeah.
More proof that Revel's an asshole. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we're back with another episode of Gundam Wing. We are in episode 7 now, coming off the heels of episode 6. We've got some comments, we've got a board, and we've got some notes. So let's go ahead and start with the board first. Well, with the board comes the board changelog. I connected Catherine to Troa with a green line. I changed the red line between Hero and Relina to white. I connected Noin to Trays with a green line. And I connected Zex to Relina with a blue line.
Makes sense. Like I was saying, I laughed earlier because when I switched to the board, the first face I saw was General Septon. We're like, oh. I found it too funny. Too bad we don't have a name for bald guy yet. I think I know who he is, but you know, upper corner, right beside to the right of side is Dr. J.
Yeah, I don't think they've said his name out loud yet.
Like I said, we don't have a name yet.
Yeah, no, I'm just
if we'll ever get.
I mean, well, the obvious thing is I know what his name is. You probably know what his name is. I just don't think they've said it yet. That's the confusing element of doing the board, is that it can remind us of things that we don't remember, but at the same time, we also have to be mindful of not throwing out things that we shouldn't know yet. Not that it's, like, critical information.
True.
I don't think knowing the doctor's name, the scientist's names, is ever going to be critical to anything.
When do we get the name of Marine Darlin? Not in this episode though.
Who?
It was earlier. Relina's mom.
Did we ever get her name?
Going on. Or you put Marlene Dylan here, so
did I? Well, they must have said her name then. See? As per the entire thing we've been talking about, or I was just talking about. They must have said her name.
I just don't remember if it was a recent change. Well, you didn't put it in your change board and your board's changes to the board. I don't know why my mouth is so it must have been earlier. It's just I don't remember when it was. Being that it's just only the 6th episode, it couldn't have been that far away. But it
would have had to have been in the first 2 episodes. None of my board changelogs include adding her name, and obviously anybody that was in the first 2 episodes would have been the first creation of the board, which I don't typically add a board changelog for, because that would just be, if you get 17 people in the first 2 episodes, then that would just be listing 17 people's names. The first board changelog would just take forever to get through.
Be a bit redundant, too. Well then, I guess...
yeah, we go into notes. You have 3 to 4 times as many
11.
as I do.
11, yeah.
Well, you didn't have to do math. I'm just saying you have 3 to 4 times as many as I do.
Talking of my 11 counted
11.
Notes, I'll start with...
sorry, the count.
I'll start with the first one. That way we begin our countdown then. Episode 6, Party Night. The reporters really come out as real asses. Relina has a point that none of them know why her father was assassinated. Because they're always like, oh, well, there'll be war, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, leave me alone, right? She's like,
I mean, in fairness, one of them is literally asking, why was your father assassinated? And Relina's comment is, they don't know why my father was assassinated. No shit, they're asking you. As the only eyewitness.
She's not in the point of answering that question, right?
She was an eyewitness.
True, but she's also mourning her father, just trying to get home to her mother. So
to be fair, is she? What's the first thing she does? She goes home and has a conversation with her mother, and then has a birthday party. Or a party, I guess.
No, she already had a party. It wasn't even a birthday party because she already had her birthday party.
Yeah, this is just a party then. Because they literally said, I wish I was anywhere but a party. And it's like, okay, be somewhere other than a party then. She's not mourning. She's legitimately going to a party. Don't
I
bother
think she's
her.
just scared.
She's on her way to a party. Is what your argument
Yeah, I
is.
think. Well, I think it's like she's trying to carry on with her life and not having to deal with a reporter. Really, is like pressing the mic to the windows, like, "How do you know about this?"
Here's the thing. I'm going to concede this to you. They are the fucking paparazzi. They're not the good guys. But arguably, Berlina pops her head out the window, says the Earth Alliance killed my father. Boom! Set the whole thing off. They can't even try and kill her later. Like, what would that matter? That would just establish, oh, they did try to fucking kill her and her dad. Like, if she had told them anything instead of being like fucking paparazzi, could have changed the world, man.
Could have, but I don't think that was her. I mean, this is really not what we're talking about, so who knows? But I don't think that was her mindset. Well, like, I just need to get out of here, right? I need to continue
I know.
with my life. Yeah,
I know. She had the same mindset that you have. It's like what these fucking people are up to, and this is horrible. You're butting into my life. Just let me move on. But the entire story of Gundam Wing would have changed had she just told them the truth. Lady Un of the Earth Sphere Alliance, tried to kill my dad and succeeded. And then she tried to kill me. And then I got away. And then, fucking Earth Alliance mobile suits show up later at the school. And it's like, oh yeah, this is a fucking conspiracy. Would have alerted the Earth Alliance, ironically, to the Oz thing coming later.
Yeah. It would, I think some of them would have investigated, yeah.
Like I said, it would have changed the whole story. And it would have made a lot more sense than her not telling anybody anything. Like, what's the point of not telling anybody anything?
We'll do a press conference would have put her in danger as well. If they're gunning for her, right?
Then arguably the safest thing would have been to stay at the colonies. The Earth Alliance is completely Earth Alliance territory. At least the colonies have pockets of revolution. Would have been to not run away from the guys that were trying to help her. Legitimately, since her father died, every step she's made has been the wrong one.
I mean, they kind of casually dropped her off at a hotel. Something like, oh, they'll take care of you. Bye. Limo drives away.
Well, no, I mean, she pulls their gun on them.
Yeah, but
you're talking about what Dr. J does. I'm talking about when she pulls the gun on them and tries to get away. Dr. J then shows up and does that whole thing. Arguably, she could have argued to stay with them. And I would say if she didn't pull the gun on them, they might have been more acquiescent to that.
Although it would have been safe for her, but she would have been also could have been a situation where they say, "Oh, Stockholm syndrome, right? They murder her father, and she's now on sway of that." Oh, Stockholm syndrome.
Well, you're talking the propaganda situation that would have happened around her. That has nothing to do with her actual safety.
Yeah,
her actual safety would still be better if she had stayed put.
True, but I'm also saying that what's I'm trying to say here. Get my thoughts organized in my mind. That if she had stayed in the colonies and then declared, "Oh, by the way, the Air Federation or Oz tried to kill my father and succeeded in killing my father," that would have been less believable. If she had returned to Earth and said it, yes, she's in more danger, but it would have been more credible, I think, because like she's literally saying it there's nobody around them, oh, you're under the control of the colonies. Like she's surrounded by people who are ostensibly all Earth Sphere Alliance.
I mean, maybe, but at the same point, she went to Earth and doesn't say anything.
Anyway, to your next point.
Whoever the actual minister was, they clearly weren't doing their job as a bridge between Earth and the colonies, as Lady Un indicated Dorlin was. So either dead already or a puppet of Oz.
Probably. Or mighty delegator. Either way. Like, I'm not gonna do this. You deal with that.
Well, I just mean that they've never seen. I don't remember them from the show, so
no. I mean, also we don't. This has come back to how much we do know about the Earth Sphere Alliance as well. We get information essentially that the Earth Sphere Alliance kind of conquered the planet. They went around and waged wars. So apparently that's what happened. But we don't know the makeup of the Earth Sphere Alliance and whether or not we know that there are pockets resistance on Earth because we have Katra and his people who have mobile suits and everything else. So they clearly are not part of the Earth Sphere Alliance and they're fighting against it. So, yeah. But we don't have a lot of specifics on how the government works, right? And so
we know that the Vice Minister Dorland was part of the Earth Sphere Alliance, so therefore the minister would be part of the Earth Sphere Alliance.
Well, we don't know exactly what his duties would have been as a foreign minister. Would all those duties be facing the colonies as the only outside government outside the Earth Sphere Alliance, or are there other outside governments on Earth that he would have to deal as well with?
Why would he be? Why would the vice minister be in charge of the least important things? And the minister. I'm saying what you're saying, that the vice minister would be in charge of the least important things if there was more important things for the minister to be taken care of, vis-a-vis your argument that stuff still happening on Earth would be more important for him, except that the entire focus of the show so far has been the relations between Earth and the colonies. We have literally heard nothing about any other government force on the Earth. Literally the only one we've heard of is the Sanct Kingdom, well, Peacecraft Kingdom at the moment, which has already been annihilated. So why would the vice minister be handling more important stuff than the actual minister?
Well, no. Either way, I mean, again, maybe there's more colonies beyond the moon and Mars. I have no idea. My second note: Relina's interaction with her mother is probably the most normal interaction she has had with anyone so far. Probably. Her friends are very psychopathic. Yes, her friends in school are very psychopathic. Like, oh, lady, you know.
Well, I know they're psychopathic. Like I said before, they're very Ferris Bueller. Yeah, or not Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's show. Yeah, psychophant. Yeah. I don't think that's the word either.
Or they're psychopaths. Yeah,
sycophants. Sorry, sycophants. That's the way I'm used to hearing the word. You said psych. So first you said psychopath, then you corrected yourself to psychophant, and like psychophant. That doesn't sound right. Sycophant. Okay.
Sycophant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the Ferris Bueller school. That's the argument that Ferris Bueller gets sick one day and the entire school shuts down.
And, you know, the one guy that likes her is like, oh my God, she's like, of course, you know, he goes out of his way. Although he's kind of
the only other guy in the school.
Yeah.
Until Hero shows up.
Right?
Until Hero shows up, he's the only guy in an all-girls school, apparently.
I think there were some other dudes as well in the background, but nobody cares, so they don't even talk. You know, with his father, it was kind of weird because, you know, he was going to all his business trips, going back to the colonies, going back to here, back to there, right? And he conveniently dropping pictures and hints about what I'm really doing, right? It's like, you know, going back, it's like, I am saying this aloud to you, daughter. One day will learn what you really need truly to do. You know, which I wouldn't put it past the show writer to do, actually. Like she goes in and has a remember, like, why did my father mention Project Meteor? Why did I see the pictures on the ground? Right?
I mean, she already met Hero, so really there's no investigation to do anymore beyond the fact she also already had a conversation with Dr. J.
Who told them everything.
Yeah.
Well, everything that he knew. So, yeah, that wouldn't be a thing. Yeah, when they're having that conversation, she says, the mother's like, oh, did your father tell you something, right? Because she's worried about whether she knows that she's adopted. And I was like, oh, he didn't tell me anything. But then it's like, oh, you know, but the moment she's like, kind of confronts, like, yeah, I know that I'm adopted, but you're my real mom, and that's all that matters, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's subverting the conversation before it happens.
Yeah. Which makes sense, right? They're trying to talk past each other, but eventually, you know, they come to a conclusion like, yeah, this is what's really happening. And don't worry about it, Mom. I still love you like my real mom. It's just you're the only mother I know. No, so, you know.
Right.
On to you.
Hero pulling a gun on Relina in the dorms is essentially as dumb as Elrin pointing a gun at Amuro in his office back at OG Gundam.
Yeah. With the door open, no less.
Well, yeah.
Anybody could have walked past.
Plus a whole party going on. Or organizing.
Yeah. I mean, technically, if everybody's down at the party, it's unlikely somebody would see them, but you still have to, like, close the damn door.
It doesn't matter. A gun is loud.
Yeah.
Plus, it didn't sound like they had a loud music thing going on, so I think everybody would have heard.
Orchestra, but not enough to cover the sound of a gun, a modern firearm anyway. Okay, to my third note. I love how Trace walks without moving his lips as if he's the narrator of his own story. Then he remembers that he's in the character in the story, and I assume always wired for a mic somehow, and starts talking. Like the very few lines he actually moves his lips, right? But he's supposed to be talking to Lady Un during this conversation without a microphone, without a camera. And this is the 1990s. So, yeah, the equipment would have been a little more bulky. Like, at least he would have, like, this little side mic on the side, right? Like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
dude?
here's my thing, is that you made it funnier by, I guess, misspeaking at the very beginning, which is where I was a little laugh. Because you said walk, and I'm pretty sure you meant to say talk. That he's talking
he's
without
walking
moving
and
his lips.
talking.
Yeah, yes, but you don't have to move your lips to walk. So the
Now
mental
he talks,
image,
yeah, with him.
the mental image that I got, he was walking without moving his lips. Unlike Lessons, who every time he's walking around the house.
Yeah, it's talking. Yeah,
Yeah, I
wrote so many
understood
notes,
because
so yeah.
you kept going with the talking, like you had said talking, but it's the mental image of everyone has to move their mouth to walk.
Like a fish has to keep him swimming, I guess. Which is not true. Many fishes actually sleep, but still.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be sharks.
Hey, a lot of sharks also sleep on the bottom of the ocean, so that's not exactly true either.
Well, I'm just saying, I've only heard it for sharks. I've never heard it for fish.
Your last note, I think. We only have 3.
It's surprising that Lady Un had to even be told to cancel the mission. All 5 of her mobile suits that she'd been assigned had been taken out. 1 Leo and 4 Aries. I mean, what was she even going to do otherwise?
Yeah, that's true. I have a note about that, but it's at the bottom at the end, so I'll just get to it.
No, mine was at the
Let's put a
bottom
pin on
and the
that.
end as well.
I'll put a pin on it. So Wu Fei sailed an entire aircraft carrier by himself, and then I guess deploy super napalm to attack the facility. Yes, I know that they never mentioned super napalm. That's an 079 thing from the first episode that never gets used again. Just bringing it back. He may be an ass. She is. But he sure has talent. Or his enemies are pretty incompetent.
I think it's just more
Both
an
can be
element
true.
that the show is always over the top.
Yeah.
Because you remember the element, well, to go back before to your super napalm comment, remember that his weapon does have a flamethrower aspect to it.
Yeah.
But it's not even that he sailed the aircraft carrier into harbor. He would have had to, confirm shipping, had to confirm docking at a specific port. He would have had to have pretended to be a number of people on board that ship on the radio at the very least. And then, not for nothing, I think it's going to be a bit suspicious if you just dock at the port and no one gets off the ship. No one's visible on top. The comment that we made during the reaction was can't remember the name of the ship still now. Dracula's ship sails into, or the ship Dracula's coffins on. I want to say Demeter. Yeah, it was a D name. That just sails into harbor with only one madman on board.
And this is an aircraft carrier, so if anything like any modern aircraft carrier, he literally docked it perfectly too.
Well, also not for nothing, but he fit his Gundam on the inside, which seems to be almost the internal length of the aircraft carrier, which also meant that somewhere out at ocean, he hollowed out the inside of the aircraft carrier.
It was supposed to be carrying mobile suits, by the way, on the hangar. So, I mean, the hangar space should be tall enough if he's, doing the whole,
it's a matter of perspective.
Still,
it's a matter of perspective. He breaks out of it, and he seems to be the size of the aircraft carrier.
Yeah. My next note. Look, the heavy arms is sleeping because they have the heavy arms, which is weird. Well, I guess it's supposed to be night, so we don't see the red of the offer plate, but it's supposed to be their arms laying in the with the tarp, but the tarp is up to here. Like, what's the point of the tarp? It doesn't actually cover what you're,
What's the point of the tarp if you don't lock it down? It shouldn't be sliding down the face of the Gundam to be like that if you don't have it locked down with straps.
Yeah. Kind of. Especially if you have aerial sensors or satellites or people in space with space stations going like, what the hell is that? It's the whole point you cover in the tarp so people don't know what it is. They might say the outer shape, like, oh, that looks vaguely robotic, giant robot, but they don't know it's a Gundam, right? They might send to investigate, but like literally from place, like that looks like a Gundam. Yeah, that's pretty much a Gundam. Let's send our troops to get it, right?
We haven't really gotten any satellite stuff in this show so far.
We do know that at least they have at least one spaceborne station, guard station. Remember that the whole joke about turning the
right, but
the
I
ISS
mean,
into a base? Yeah,
I mean towards Earth tracking.
yeah.
Was that this show? I remember they did that in Seed. They had the whole conversation about the ISS being a tracking station in Seed because it tracked
This is
the
on this
fall
show.
of Janus 7.
No, that was they had another station that was tracking all the garbage and all that, but that wasn't an ISS. They didn't look like the ISS. It looked like something else. We did see an ISS style station here, which had some us or Earth Alliance personnel who was tracking the fall of the Project Meteor ships. It's like, oh, here they come, and that they tell.
Either way, I was regarding mostly keeping track of stuff on Earth.
I assume that you're well-informed military. You would have. I guess they don't. I guess that's not a thing for them.
The only times we've been informed of anything like that, it's been stuff on the ground encountering it. We've got reports of an attack here. We've got reports of an attack there. That sort of thing.
Like I say, somebody did it either in this timeline, satellite systems, at least when it comes to surveillance, were not a big thing to begin with, or somebody decided, this is just too much space junk. We're just going to recycle all this, and got rid of it. Because who's gonna need it? There's only one world government anyway, right? Okay, SFR. I mean Troa. You got the dark and brooding 90s anti-hero bit down pat. He's so edgy, he literally got cut.
I mean, we already said Troa is essentially Hero 0.5.
I'll see when he gets a knife on the side of the head, which
Hero tried to blow up his own heart.
Yeah.
Like you said, Troa is everything Hero is, just half.
Now, this is answering a comment that if you watch the last video I said during that video, and you're like, oh, you might be typing in the comment response. Oh, yeah, no, that's not what happened. So I checked and I realized what I said. The change of Relina's dress was not an animation error, as I said during our watch, but that her friends were imagining her in the blue dress while she danced with Hero at 11:23.
Yeah, I thought we covered that. I mean, I never thought it was an error. I heard you say something crazy. Sorry, I would say stupid. I heard you say something crazy, and I just let it go. I didn't think anybody would. Because, yeah, I've watched many an animation error. That's not an animation error. That was clearly on purpose. That wasn't like the time I told you Voltace 5, where we have the secondary doctor after the first, professor. After the first professor dies, and then they pan up, and in the control room is our old dead professor, because it's like clearly an old animation block that they put there, and then we go into the room, and it's the new guy. It's not one of those. They didn't animate her previously dancing in a dress and then reuse the animation for something.
They're just correcting my mistake. Now, this is my reimagined conversation between the officer and Lady Yun. I'm about to slaughter a bunch of rich kids, Lady Yun. That doesn't feel right. So you don't want to pilot the cool mobile suit we gave you? One slaughter of rich punks coming right up.
Well, it was more he wanted to keep his position. It's not about piloting the suit. It's about being command. She says, fine, I'll get somebody else to command this mission. What? Why? Because you're not giving me a lot of inspiration that you're going to do your job if you're afraid of doing these things. Fine, I'll do it.
I'm just making fun of it. The whole situation is like, yeah, I feel bad about doing this. Do you not want to have your job? I like my job. Then do it.
The only reason I didn't make a note about it is because it's very prescient to modern situations.
My number 9 note. I love how the voice actor for the bald old man with the Hawaiian shirt plays like an old surfer hippie. Like, totally, dude. That's in the English version, not in the Japanese version. He just apparently they showed him a sketch with him wearing a Hawaiian shirt. It's like, oh yeah, he's an old California hippie. He's just like that's who he is now. Yes, of course, that's why he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I mean, it's not who he is now. It's who he's always been.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about in the Japanese version, we don't get that feel of it, but in the English version, they certainly.
Yeah, what I'm saying, though, if you were watching the English version from the beginning, that's who he was the first time we saw him, too. He didn't just become a Hawaiian dude. That's always who he was.
My second to last note. The battle at the school is meant to signal Hero's growing feelings, as an S in it, for Relina and how he feels conflicted about it. But why didn't he go after the Oz transport?
Didn't see it.
Which is, no, that's the first thing he saw was, oh, it's an incoming Oz transport, because he heard it first,
Well, no, there's I keep wanting to say red for some reason, a yellow light in the sky. But that could have easily been the Ares launching from the transport, because the next shot we get of the transport, it's hidden in cloud.
Yeah, but then it's flying around, and it's like, go. You have a plane. Go look for it.
Well, we only get the 2 shots of the transport. The one when it's launching the rest of its mobile suits, and then the second one where it's in the clouds. So conceivably, it could have been hiding in the clouds the rest of the fight. So Hero just didn't know where it's at.
But this is not a Gundam show that has Minovsky particles, so he could just turn it on the radar and go like, oh, there it is. And killed him.
Sure. We have also never seen him do that.
Yeah. Well, he was willing to try to destroy the shuttle, so he detected it on long range. So, yeah.
It was in front of him.
Above him. Yeah.
Depends on what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm talking about the shuttle in episode 1.
Yes, I'm talking about the shuttle from episode 1 as well.
Yeah, in episode 1, he said it's literally in my way. So it's not above him. It was literally in front of him. He was like, I'm not going to run into it. I'm going to shoot it. So it wouldn't be above him. It would have been in front of him.
Yeah, but his glide path didn't have to intercept the shuttle anyway. But but that's
the point.
Yeah, that's beside the point. And my last note. Also, this is supposed to be Trey's pet the dog moment. He spares Relina's life because knowing informed him that she is related to sex. Further reinforced by the 2 birds coming back before he released them when he was talking to Lady Un. After the first time we see a bird, although not after, I don't know why it says after. Although the first time we see a bird with sex, he shoots it dead. I guess it shows that, yeah. Trace, yeah.
That was a different bird, though. That wasn't a bird in a cage. That was a bird that he was waiting to shoot.
But like I said in that comment, it's supposed to. I always believe that the fact that he shot the bird was the sign to be, his willingness to just take a life. No comment. Right?
It was clearly an indication that Trace is a man who plans and can wait. Not an indication that he's willing to take a life. That's a poor indication he's willing to take a life by shooting a bird.
But he was shooting us up.
He's watching all the targets going up, and he's waiting for his actual target. It's indicating that Trace is a man who's willing to wait and plan, rather than taking the first opportunity to strike at a target.
Except that the original target, none of them were actual living birds. So why did he shoot at the bird then?
Because he's waiting for the bird. He wants the bird. That's what I'm saying. It's indicating that he can wait for his target and will plan around it. What's the point of telling? How does it prove he's willing to take a life? It's a fucking bird. It's not a person. Having somebody tied up behind the thing and let them run. Okay, you can go. That would have been proving he could take a life. Shooting a bird
I think it was
when he's
up.
like he's supposed to be English aristocrat. Like he could have shot a wolf, not a wolf, fox. It's like that doesn't prove anything. Him just waiting there, having a conversation, not shooting at the targets. Like, we had already had a whole note about this, about it being explicitly him waiting and planning. And how stupid it was, because he obviously is the one who also set up the targets. So, I do not see it as the willing to take a life thing at all. That does not make any sense to me.
Yeah, the whole scene was... No, but anyway.
Him
this one, I think...
Him, making the mission, go to the school, kill all these people. That would be him showing he's willing to take a life.
Oh, all of them, really. Willing to kill everybody there.
That's what I'm saying. That expresses that he's willing to take a life. The bird thing.
But we get this moment where he says, like, fine, I will not kill Relina because, sex is a good friend, I
Well, yeah,
suppose, a reliable ally.
secondary argument to the comment is that it's not knowing asking him to spare Relina. It's Zex passing the message through knowing. Because that's what
Well,
Trey
that's what he.
says. Trey says,
Yeah,
oh,
but
well,
I have a problem with that, though. I know that's what Trey says, but that could very well be that's what knowing tells him to spare her life. She knows about the connection between her and
I think it makes more sense that
sex.
Trey's is doing Zex a favor, as he says.
Yes, but that it might be a favor that sex doesn't know about. It could be just knowing, saying, "Oh yeah, no, sex doesn't want her sister to get killed. Would you take care of that?" It's like, okay, fine.
Here's the element of that. And one, I don't remember going forwards, so if it's true, then I don't know. But the element of that is that I have no reason to suspect that is the case unless it's brought up later. That knowing is going behind Zex's back to do these things. Because on the face of it, it makes sense in itself. I have no reason to suspect that knowing is doing these things behind his back.
I suspect it because previous conversations, every time we have knowing talking about sex, is like, "Oh, you're not opening up. I know about your secret, etc." It's like, I'm worried about you, and I know that you're a peacecraft, so please open up and confront the situation. He doesn't do anything, doesn't say anything. Why? Also, why have sex? Sex has a direct line to Trey, so why have knowing call?
Because of this episode,
Hmm?
the episode we're about to watch, indicating that
Yeah,
Zex is busy doing other stuff.
maybe, but I mean, wouldn't knowing also be busy with those same things? She is her second in command, after all.
No. She basically abdicated the authority that she had back at Victoria Base to then follow Zex. So we haven't seen her get delegated any new authority or job at the moment. So technically she's just helping Zex with whatever she can find herself to do. And again, as per what we saw in the next time on, and maybe what we remember happening this episode, it's entirely Otto and Zex. It's not knowing doing anything.
It just seems really awkward to have knowing be the bearer of the message when it's just supposed to be something, a personal favor of such a importance to Trace.
Yeah, but
to
I mean, it indicates
himself.
that knowing and Zex are close. It indicates that to us, the audience, who might not fully realize it just yet.
Well, that's it. Those are all my notes. I think you have comments.
Okay. Bruce Ingram from The Shooting Star She Saw. Takehito Koyasu is in so many Gundam shows. His Zex is fine, but it's no Mulaflaga or his character in Turn A. Wing's still my lowest tier Gundam. I have zero nostalgia for it, unlike my younger brother. 00 improved on everything Wing tried to do. 2005 was a great year. The Doctor Who revival hit just as I was getting more into anime, and then Lost started airing. I don't miss anything. Sorry, I don't miss waiting months for US shows to come out in the UK. Edit. Love the overlay art. Was not expecting Wu Fei. No one likes Wu Fei.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Well, we're going to talk about it again later. So, your choice, man. You picked Wu Fei.
I stick by it.
Well, yeah, gonna have to. All right, Neo X Neo from the Shooting Star. These are all from the Shooting Star She Saw. It's the only episode on YouTube at the moment. The heavy arms may not be the greatest when it equals its. Sorry, I'm reading this and it's reading a little bit weird. The heavy arms may not be the greatest when it equals to its mobility, but it has great weaponry equally in close range compared to many others.
I think translation it's not a very mobile platform, but it does have great weaponry both at long range and short range. I think that's what he meant to say.
I mean, the first part, yes. But it has great weaponry equally in close range compared to many others. Doesn't equal the long range, close range thing you were saying. This just says close range. Meaning that all of those long range weapons are only close range weapons.
No, I don't think that's what he means.
I think that's what he means by statement of fact, that the weapons it has are great in close range.
No, I think it has no, because the heavy arms has a particular weapon at close range that he can use. I don't remember which is a close range, but he has like
So
that's like
iconic
a scythe.
that it's
So it's
unrememberable.
no, it's like a scythe or a
No, pretty
sword of
sure
some
that's
sort. I think.
the Death Scythe has the scythe at
Yeah.
close range and long range, or I guess medium range. Yeah, I'm pretty sure heavy arms is just stupid,
No, because
stupid guns.
Because he fought against Katre at close range, and he wasn't after he ran out of
Pretty sure
ammo,
he
so
just
he
had
had a closer
fists.
weapon.
Like you said, so iconic you can instantly remember, unlike every other Gundam. That's how bad heavy arms is. Everyone
I still
remembers
like
heavy arms for its guns, which are stupid and the worst.
I think they're pretty useful.
Sure, as useful as the Punisher fighting Superman.
I think you're underestimating the power of those guns.
I am, and then I'm also equally estimating them. I start by underestimating them and then realize my underestimation was the truth. They barely defeat the mooks of the show.
No, he destroys them, dozens of mooks with those weapons, so I don't think.
And then he runs out of ammo, something the other ones don't. We've got 5 Gundams, and it's literally the worst.
I still like it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we all have guilty pleasures.
No, I don't feel guilty about it. I just like it.
Oh, you should. Let me put some guilt on you. You should. It's the worst one. It's literally, I think, the worst Gundam of all the Gundam shows. I could not, I think list a worst Gundam. Like, there's Gundams I don't like. I mean, there's Gundams in other shows that I don't like, but I would be hard-pressed to argue that they're worse than the heavy arms. I would say even RX 7802 is better than the heavy arms.
Is it any more comments?
I'm going to take that as a failure on your part. You tried to think of one that was worse, and you couldn't. Let's see. Golden Self. Somehow I doubt Lessons remembers the vehemently sexist aspect of Wu Fei's character.
No, I was reminded of that.
Right. Remember, this comment refers to episode 1.
From the first episode, I know. I know what I'm saying. Yes,
Right. Again, people want to remind you how bad Wu Fei's character actually is. Well, I want to point out that I had myself drawn in the uniform of Giran, and nobody wanted to point out how horrible Giran is. This is the first episode, and you've already got 2 comments pointing out how bad a choice Wu Fei was.
At least they're talking about me, because they never talk about me at all. I guess you have to go very deep into the hate sink in order for people like, oh yeah, there's Lessons doing a shitty thing.
Well, because mine is opinion-based hate. People hate my opinions. You picked a guy that they hate worse than a Nazi.
That's that. I mean, I understand why they hate him, but more than a Nazi.
Sorry, I have the tone of voice like call an ambulance, but not for me. It's like you're like, that's sad. Yeah, sad for you. All right, final comment, Fail Fisher. Not the same VA, however, Relina's Japanese VA, Akiko Yajima, voiced a character in another mecha anime that Theta brought up before, R. Dorothy Wainwright from Big O. Aside from the Zodiac-themed naming of the Oz mobile suits, many of the characters in Gundam Wing are named after numbers in different languages.
I mean, Max Duo,
Quattro, Probaba Winner.
Quattro, yeah. Yui? Is it 1?
Has to be, because I don't think Hero is. And I would say Wu is a number.
It's in Japanese. I forgot my Japanese numbering. I'd suck. At least I used to be able to count at least to 10, but not anymore, I guess.
Well, that was a stupid idea on my part. I googled Wu number, and I got myself the customer service number for Western Union.
Oh, you got to send money fast.
Or not at all.
Yeah, not at all, yeah. So those were the comments.
Yep. So I guess nothing left to do but to hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
It's also funny how this fits into a previous conversation that we had about animation and eras of animation.
I mean, and the intro?
Well, I mean, the whole show, really. Clearly, you don't seem to remember. I also don't quite remember I don't remember what show it was we had it in, but I remember I saw it when I was editing everything.
Okay.
The whole element, maybe it was Macross Delta, maybe it was a Macross Delta thing. It was a conversation we were having about, it's an 80s show. It's an 80s show that we're watching.
SDF Macross? Oh, the whole Korean thing, the Korean studios were...
Well, no, that was an element of the conversation. No, you were saying something, a show, no, War in the Pocket. You said the show looked quintessentially 80s.
Yes,
and then we had a whole conversation about different animation styles or different shows with different qualities of animations can look like as good as the next generation of animation, like the decade after or the decade before. Wing feels like a decade before. It doesn't look as good as its contemporaries.
Or predecessors, for that matter.
Well, no, I would say it looks as good as its predecessors. That's my point, is that it looks like a decade before. But you compare it to other Gundam shows that are coming out literally either a year or two afterward or a year before it.
I mean,
and it's not that good.
Yeah, what's his name? 8th MS Team certainly looks much better than this.
And again, I'm not talking about the narrative quality or the writing quality. I'm talking about the animation quality.
Yeah.
I'm not clarifying to you. I'm clarifying to the audience that thinks I'm just shitting on the show for no reason.
I couldn't place that in the map, though. It seems like a map somewhere on Earth, but I couldn't place it.
Remember, sometimes they rotate the map. We've seen that before in maps where Japan is just like straight up and down. It's like, oh, that's hard to place.
All these empty planes.
Oh, right. Not this episode. Sorry, the commentary we had about Zack's next episode. This is the episode where the Centauri president gets killed.
Centauri?
Yeah. Clearly you don't remember our conversation. I don't do a lot in the week between when we talk.
Okay.
The dude wears an outfit that looks like the first Centauri emperor from Babylon 5.
Oh, he has a body double, yeah.
Cool, Trace is a member of the Alliance.
Yeah.
Cool, I got myself a copy of Wizardry.
Yeah. So he's going to California, I guess, New Edwards. Well.
I'm sorry, do not learn how to knock?
Yeah. Those are pretty sophisticated van on the inside, with screens and everything else.
No, I think that's just a cubby. I don't see any screens.
She's making coffee, cranking coffee.
Conceivably, it's another couch across from her, so I doubt there's a TV.
He was making hand crank coffee, by the way, for people who might knowing what the hell that she had in her hands. It's a coffee grinder.
I mean, I thought it was obvious, even if without the coffee grinder, because it was a bag of, I assume beans.
Beans, yeah.
Yep, because all 5 Gundams are gonna converge in one place.
Yeah, he didn't want you to talk him out of it. That's why he didn't talk to you. Oh yeah, they're going to California. Yeah, I guess it's a future. So instead of being Edwards Air Force Base, it's New Edwards Air Force Base, just like in Macross. Although that was in another planet, though.
So I'm about to get George Carlin on your ass. It was on another planet. It was in another planet. It'd be like the New Victoria base. Sorry, it'd be the Victoria base underground 0G chamber, which was in the planet.
That's, I guess, Wu Fei again.
Had to been. It was a dick move.
Oh no, it's Hero.
It could be both.
Why is it a dick move if he's trying to get a...
Because it's a civilian aircraft center. It's a civilian airport. It's not an Oz airport. So it's a dick move.
There were soldiers there.
No, soldiers here. Again. I'm indicating we're seeing everybody doubling up. Wu Fei is the only one that goes alone. How about my stuff back?
I told you there were soldiers there.
Yeah, I know. You're having a conversation in the now. I'm having a conversation from before we found out.
That plane should have been shot to pieces.
No, it follows the... Wow, he has got a really weird side profile. Like a butthead or a Beavis.
A very big head for his body.
I was going to argue, no, it's the same rules that when you flip a table over, it can block bullets now.
Yeah.
As for that new furniture company we're making back in Germany. So, Trays or Zex? Or the President? Oh, Field Marshal, I got it completely wrong.
Venti is a name, it's a number. Noventa is also a number because it's 90. Trace, yeah, there are a lot of.
Trace is 10, isn't it?
Is also a number. Un, yeah. Trace is a 10 in Italian. Una is 1 in Italian. How posh.
Is it? I think it's a different organization determining that.
演習だと伝えろ。モンバサ沖の上空で模擬空中戦を行うのだとな。了解。ノイ、疑問の残る戦いになるが構わないのか。
Trust me, could not get more upset. Every Ares that dies is somebody I trained.
連合とオズ。たとえ入れ替わったとしても世界は変わらん。ではなぜ戦うのだ。ゼクス。
Don't do it if you think it's not going to change anything.
3 people on the right have a different uniform. 2 people on the left paid for more colors. I like to think if the field marshal was Russian, he'd be just covered in Russian or North Korean. You got a sash and 3 badges, just like the field marshal.
Now that they won the war, apparently they're like, oh, we gotta.
宇宙でしか生成できないガンダニウム合金を使ったモビルスーツの攻撃を
Outer space.
その圧倒的な力によって危機にさらされている実際戦ってみたスペシャルズはどう考える
The weapons of war? You think they made them
Yeah.
to destroy?
役者ですか。
Septum? Septum or the Field Marshal, I guess. Nope, Septum. It has to be Septum. The
Yeah.
Field Marshal will never have succeeded with that.
コロニーとの問題だけではない。私は全世界においても同じ対話を始めなければならないと考えている。
Yeah, there are other world nations, I guess, suppose.
Yeah, but again, the colonies are the focus.
あのモビルスーツの問題は我々の和平の意思を知れば、コロニー側も破壊活動の意味を失う。語り合う。すれば見失った道も我々の前に見えてくる。
やはり歴史を誤った方向に動くのか。
では。
いや、最後の役者たちが揃ってからだ。
Yeah, how dare they try to find peace? Oh god, I'm just recognizing. Septum is Revel.
Yeah.
More proof that Revel's an asshole.
Well, not really. I don't think it's comparable.
It is comparable. Revel's speech, given
No, it
in
is.
origin, is Septum's speech from the back of a plane later on. Ah, right. Duo's long-range weapon.
10倍以上だ。予想数値をはるかに上回っている。
10 times more of them. So 30? Because there's never a lot of them, typically.
Yeah.
And the Wing Zero is way overgunned for this.
進撃に時間がかかりすぎる。
There's no way Noventa could have shown up here and succeeded.
Yeah.
Like, even if he came walking out with his hands raised, you know one of them just would have fucking stepped on him.
役者は揃った。我々も幕を上げるとしよう。ゼクス得意。オペレーションデイブレイク開始命令です。よし。
Operation Daybreak. Just the opposite of the Night of Long Knives.
Mm-hmm.
Daybreak. Night of. Or Operation 66. Order 66, rather. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun.
パイロットに呼びかけろ。我々はコロニーとの和平を望んでいるのだと。無理です元帥。敵は猛攻撃をかけています。そんなことをしている間にこちらの損害が。
Well, get some guys out there with some flags. We'll semaphore them.
元帥、今は避難することが先決です。
Everyone knows semaphore.
これでもまだコロニー側との和平交渉がお望みなら、閣下方をこの戦闘で失うわけには参りません。
皮肉は聞き流そう。なるほど。無駄死にするつもりはない。
Yeah, this is the cartoon with the impressively large foreheads, competing
That's
with
pretty
what's
mean.
it?
Noventa's half bald. It's a pretty mean thing to say. He's not a large forehead. His hairline's receding. Oh, right. It's this way, General Septum, right?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna use you like Revel. Yeah, you're the designated survivor.
Yeah, the guy who didn't trust the specials in the first episode are now like, sure, I'll go with you.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? It seems less likely they're going to be the ones that die. Wow, global warming, huh? Unless the Gundam Wing riders were prescient. That North America versus, the America versus Canadian war that's gonna happen. Canada just was not on that fucking map.
Oh yeah, I remember the flashing lights thing they were doing.
Who are you talking to? The only guy you just killed.
くだらんことを抜かすな。貴様も裏切り者なのか。総長。スペシャルズの若造のもに何ができる。
Well, fly for one thing, because they have the Ares.
この基地は制圧された。降伏せよ。
反逆者が何を抜かす。
革命の気配は己で察しろ。
ふざけ。
Okay. That destroyed the other guy, but I guess this one was specially armored.
作り上げることは素晴らしい。しかし。
Yeah, well, some of our guys got something better than Gundanium. It's called plot.
Blood armor, yeah.
無益な抵抗はやめたまえ諸君。我々は一人でも多くの同志を必要としている。連合の時代は終わりなのだ。真の統一は我々オズがこの手で生み出さなければならん。新たな秩序を共に築こうではないか。我ながらよくやるな。
I mean, the problem is we haven't really seen much from the Earth Alliance to indicate they are as bad as Oz. Because remember, it was Trey's orders to kill civilians at school. Meaning Oz was that one. Well, seems that,
ダメです。所在がつかめません。一体何がどうなっているのだ。
for some reason, my mind blanked for a good minute there. I was indicating on the map. It looked like Alaska was missing too.
There seems to be like very powerful missiles.
Well, it's a shame that unlike Wing Zero's blaster, he's only got a certain number of them and he can run out. You know, because it'll be the first target. Now, is that mission data, or did Oz put a thing on there that makes it read as Oz?
It could be the IFF.
That's what
They
I meant.
changed the IFF of their shuttle, yeah.
But, you know, it's internal on his mobile suit that it's reading as Oz, so is that the mission data, though?
Yeah, I don't think that was went way beyond Rash. Yeah.
Field Marshal Noventa.
Yeah.
さっきはミサイルの挨拶どうも。今度はこっちから行くぜ。
Hey, there's a close quarter weapon.
Yeah, it's that thing we all remember it as. And the useless guns. No idea how that does anything, considering that the thing cuts through Gundanium.
貴様らまだ無意味な戦いに飽き足りないのか。なんだと。分かっているのか。
Boom, dead.
たちはまんまとオズの罠に乗せられたのだぞ。
なんだって？
連合の後方回線を開いてみろ。貴様たちは連合の平和論者を一掃してしまったんだ。まさか。これはコロニー側の宣戦布告である。我々は本日コロニー側との和平を。
By the way, something only Wu Fei knows because he got here late.
Well, maybe he just sensed that something was wrong. It's like, oh, this is too convenient. He's probably also tracking the other.
I'm sure Wu Fei sensed something. That's something I know Wu Fei does all the time. Xi'an doesn't have any soldiers left. Should have happened to Rebel. Not for a pointless gunshot. Couldn't risk him surviving, you know, a 20,000 foot drop. I wouldn't mind seeing that spin-off.
What, he's surviving?
So he survives a 20,000 foot drop and forms a revolution against Oz.
I don't see him as one.
Would have been a better antagonist for the movie. Once again, one sniper could have made this 4 Gundams. No, I think it would have been an interesting twist. Somehow he survives or reorganizes what remains of the Alliance military. They become the enemies of the movie.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that though.
Plus, you know,
I guess that's why they shot him in the head, just to make sure. Well, I think you know why they shot him in the head, just to make sure that we knew that he was dead, right? No doubtful. Oh, he landed on water, survived. No, he got shot in the head on the way down.
If he fell on water, it would still be a terminal velocity drop into water.
Yeah, but yeah, remember this is anime. In anime, if the animators want him to survive, he would survive. This is Gundam, where characters survive point blank explosions of their own mecha.
Right, but not 20,000 foot drops.
Until they do.
Hasn't happened yet.
I mean, Hero barely survived drop from a 50-story building.
He didn't barely survive. He 100% survived.
So if he could do that,
he didn't even slow him down.
Yeah, so. Terminal velocity at 50 stories.
Hold up.
オズに踊らされたガンダムはセプテムと同じようにレディアンに仕留められようとしている。ニューエドワーズ基地の爆破阻止に走るヒーロー、デュオ、カトリ、そしてトレーズに迫るウーフェイとトロワ。ウーフェイの剣がトレーズを追い詰める。新機動戦機ガンダムウィング第8話、トレーズ暗殺。
Huh. Don't remember it being this early on.
Yeah, but I think, well, I won't say because...
Well, I mean, it's obviously it's not really a spoiler, so it's just acknowledging the things we remember. Just like, don't go really far ahead, right? Don't jump 20 episodes ahead to say we remember. This is literally next time on, which I think is in the clear. I just, you know, because that's obviously where he lands on Trace's aircraft carrier, or whatever the fuck it is, and punches his way in, and they have a sword fight. I just, again, for me, I don't remember the show being as long as it is.
Yeah.
So from that, I thought that was closer to halfway through, but we're like near the beginning still.
Yeah, I think they're pulling a Destiny C thing. It's like, oh, we need a quick change, drop a giant blob of something into the planet and change the status quo, right?
Well, I mean, we just took out the leader of the Alliance. Oz is now in charge. If it's our mission to take out the leadership, then pivot to take out Oz's leadership, which at the moment seems to be Trey's, as per that whole discussion that we had before about Trey's owning or getting the funding from Romefeller and then controlling the military buildup for the Alliance, and then, outsourcing specials to the Alliance. So he's a very clear target if they're going to try and take out leadership.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you, I remember this things happening like halfway point, not like episode 8, 6. Well, this is episode 6. We're not even the first 10 episodes. This was like 40
this
episodes.
Is episode 7.
7.
We just
40?
talked about episode 6.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Out of 49.
Yeah, plus the movie. But we know the movie is post
after
events here. So, yeah, so. Doesn't
matter
if it's 5 episodes or
I remember what the middle point of the show is. Obviously, I'm not going to say what it is, but I remember the event that then leads into. I've brought up a number of times, so I think this is something I can bring up, even though I probably shouldn't have in the first place. When you kept talking about what the colonies look like, the ones that we've seen, like the one Relina went to, and I keep bringing up what Duo's colony looks like. The event that brings about what I think is the middle point of the show is we see Duo's colony after that. So, yeah, I don't know. What I'm saying is I remember the Noventa's shuttle being destroyed happening like in the first 3 episodes. So, twice as far out on that one. But I don't remember Trey's and Wu Fei fighting as being close to the beginning. Like, I don't remember that being back-to-back with Noventa. But then again, I thought Noventa was the Darlene thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the same thing, no.
You don't have to tell me, we just watched the episode.
No, just stating for...
in case I didn't understand.
Which you... I don't know. It wasn't a...
It's never about you.
Exactly. Well, unless it is. Which also means that we're going to have a lot of filler episodes coming up in the next 10, 15, 20 episodes, because we have 49 episodes. Really, there are some major plot points, but they shouldn't take like 30 episodes for those plot points to develop, considering especially the fast clip of this first 6, 7 episodes. So
here's the thing. Right? I don't remember. Okay, here's an honest and a flippant statement. Honest statement, I don't remember there being any filler episodes. I think everything was essentially necessary to the story. Flippant statement, anything involving Wu Fei or Troa is a filler episode. There's no but
next
there.
Episode is a filler?
No, because it involves Zex. Next episode, unless I called it wrong. I think next episode no. That's named after Trey's, and it featured Trey's in the next time on, but unless I'm mistaken, it's also a Zex-heavy episode.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing the revolution still. No. In the last bits.
It's not what I'm referring to. I'm not going to say what it is in case I'm wrong. But obviously, if Zex doesn't feature heavy in it, then it'll be obvious that I'm wrong. But, I don't... Again, even in my memory, Wu Fei challenging Trey's to a sword fight was like a very small part of that episode.
Yeah.
I'm saying the episodes that feature heavily Wu Fei and Troa might as well be filler, because I don't, 1, give a shit about those two, and 2, they're not important.
I mean, they're part of the 5-man band. They might not be as important, but I think they're somewhat important.
Yeah, that's the reason why the joke that Ringo is the drummer exists. That there are lesser members of the band, and, common acceptance that we could probably get rid of one of these guys.
Ringo actually is a pretty good musician, but people tend to underestimate.
Here's my debate. Ringo is a pretty good guy. Nothing about
Okay.
being a good musician. Ringo's a pretty good guy. I would say Paul McCartney is a pretty good musician. John Lennon was a pretty good musician before, not going to phrase it that way, before he met a certain person.
But no, he would still remain a good singer-songwriter even after it. Some of his best songs were after that, in spite of everything.
Yeah, I would say that his
imagine what's
quality to output ratio wasn't the same.
I mean, he wasn't putting out as much, but he was putting high-quality music.
I would argue that he was putting out more. And he wasn't only putting out the number of quality songs he put out, like the ones you remember, is not the larger portion of what he was putting out.
Forget it. This is a word that I can't pronounce.
Discography.
Discography, yeah.
Because you also have to include anything he did with Yoko.
So there you have it. This episode, the revolution has begun and essentially ended. The war that follows has only begun.
Well, I mean, it hasn't really ended. I don't think we've eliminated. Poe is still Earth Alliance. Clearly, we didn't kill her. We need her for some filler episodes, aka Wu Fei episodes. No. I only remember her ever showing up again for Wu Fei episodes. So whatever she was back in the earlier episodes, let's not give drugs to kids. She's now relegated to filler, just like Catherine Bloom. If there was anything going to be cool done with her, not anymore. She's Troa only episodes, aka filler episodes.
She's a pretty good character on her own.
Is she?
That's yet.
She's not even a good knife thrower, apparently. The one job she has.
There's something that happens with her.
She legitimately only exists to emphasize that Troa has emotions and feelings, something Troa cannot do on his own, which is not a great characteristic unless you're like, ooh, I'm into coffee. I like her. Well, you know what? Trey's drinks coffee, so...
How very French of him, I think.
I'm just saying that she's not a very interesting character. She has opportunities to be, but, you know... We've got a whole circus. What can we do with it? I can't think of anything. Like, replace Quattra's roaming band of subordinates with a traveling circus. You could do a lot with that shit. You know, combine those two characters together. One gives Troa some personality, the personality of Quattra. And then a whole circus of mobile suits. You know, the same way that you theme the Joker's subordinates with, like, clown people. You could have clown fucking mobile suits. That'd be fucking crazy. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'd be crazy. I don't know if it would be amazing, though.
Juggler mobile suit? You know, you do the G Gundam with clown mobile suits. Just stereotypes of a circus. The fire breather mobile suit. You know, just replace Wu Fei's whole snake arm thing with a mobile suit. It'd be fucking amazing. It would also be like, that is the most character I've ever seen in a gang of Gundams.
I don't know. This show is already pretty crazy as it is. I mean, it's not G Gundam's levels of crazy, but it's getting there.
I'm saying it would be immediately over the top. You would not forget Troa Barton. But this Troa Barton, eminently forgettable.
Anything else?
There is the I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?